Welcome back, everyone. Now, I cannot remember off the top of my head who gave me this suggestion for who would win. I don't believe I wrote it down. I apologize for not getting to your suggestion at any point. I apologize for not giving you a proper shout out. If you do happen to see this video, if you're the person who did suggest it, please you can put that in the put your name in the comments, and I'll make sure to put your name in the description. But Howard the Duck versus Rocket Raccoon. Now, when I first heard this matchup, I'm like, well, Rocket's going to easily beat Howard. But then I look into Howard, and surprisingly, I'm like, maybe not. maybe Howard can beat Rocket. So here we are. We're doing Rocket Raccoon versus Howard the Duck. We'll go over Rocket because I've already done Rocket once. Rocket stands at 4 foot, even 55 pounds, give or take. He's big even for a raccoon. He's got a temper, but he's got enhanced senses like night vision, smell, touch, as raccoons do. Expert marksman in all firearms, hand-to-hand combat expert, master tactician on all levels of the battlefield. Has jetpack that allows him to fly. Motorcycle jetpack, jet boots, 2 large pistols that, like, the pistols you see him usually using in the movie or something like that. Durable enough to take several to tank lasers and take several explosions. Deflect missiles with a wrench, strong enough to actually deflect them with a wrench. Can fight multiple opponents at once. Grenades. He can fight. He's also a tactical weapons designer. He can create weapons on the fly if he needs to. Has grenades that can take out a starship. Common what? Oh, common. Wait, what did I write here? Common can stun. Oh, he has stun blast as well. That can even hurt Thanos to a degree. Rampart Arm's phase cannon is strong enough to make someone like Thanos surrender, which is not a small feat to do. And he has flying bombs, basically, flying explosives. But he's a raccoon. Let's use Thanos example. He's not Thanos in terms of durability. He's not the Hulk in terms of durability. He's a raccoon. So, that being said, he's still a badass in many shapes and forms. Now, Howard the Duck, 2'7", so he's only a little half as high as Rocket. So if Rocket stands around, this is about 4 foot right here. Howard comes right about there to him. So Howard is actually much shorter than Rocket. That's not exactly 4 feet, but you get my point. And he only weighs 40 pounds. He's also got hollow bones, being, of avian physiology. So hollow bones makes him lighter, slightly more, agile than how it would be with normal bones. He's a master of quack fu, which I've never really read a Howard the Duck comic to be honest, and I do remember the movie, but let's be clear, quack fu was not all that impressive in the movie. But I would assume that quack fu is a pretty formidable martial art in its own right. He's also he's carries a weapon called the BFG, or Big Effing Gun, depending on how you want to pronounce it, or Big Friendly Gun, which a cannon that can basically disintegrate anything. So that's something to be keeping in mind. And for a time, he wasn't the Sorcerer Supreme, but he was a duck equivalent of that. He is actually trained in the mystic arts and knows a couple spells, particularly the vapors of, and I might be mispronouncing this, but Yator and Shield of Seraph, or Seraphim. The vapors, or more or less, can create a maelstrom storm effect, which is good for offense and maybe countering a few things. The Shield of Seraphim is a shield of light that can restore health. So it's defensive and can restore health. So yeah, kind of unique. Now, how does this break down? Well, let's say Rocket's just doing one of his solo missions in one of his solo comics, and he winds up on the duck planet of Howard of the Duck. By the way, I'm not actually using the Howard you see in the thumbnail per se, like Cowboy Howard, but we can, screw it. Actually, I'll go back on that. Trench coat, hat, BFG in hand. So it's they have a interaction, and not a friendly interaction. They look at each other, and the fight commences. Rocket immediately goes into pistols, just beep, beep, doo, doo, doo. Howard's getting out of the way. I think Howard's a little more agile or lighter on his feet, I guess is a better way to put it, than Rocket, being the fact that he's lighter boned and, he's got a smaller stature. Therefore, he's, in theory, more agile. Meanwhile, Howard is, firing the BFG, Rocket's avoiding it. Rocket ducks, poof, and then he notices that the entire like rock face that was just giant hole, perfect hole. It's like, yes, like, BFG baby disintegrates anything. Just a cigar. Like, well, that's a thing. All of a sudden, flying explosives come out. It's like, it's like, whoa, 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 whoa. Shield of Seraphim comes up. What is that? So it's like, what is that? So now Rock is now firing at the shield. I think against the small arms fire, the shield's not going to do much. It's like, and then the Maelstrom comes in. It's like, whoa. But he's got his jetpack, so he's able to more or less stay level. But now he's got to try. Then all of a sudden, the blast from the center BFG comes through. Rocket drops his Rocket basically shuts the jetpack off, gets sucked into the Maelstrom to avoid the shot, calls in his jetpack motorcycle, which slams right into Howard. BFG goes flying out of his hand. So now Rocket's now firing, it's throwing some grenades. Shield again, or actually Maelstrom again, blows the grenades away. Rocket comes in, smacks into freaking Howard. Now they got a fisticuffs going on. Rocket's got the height advantage, but Howard theoretically has the center of gravity, and he can give him a shot to the nads if you want to, but they're both skilled, so boom, 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 boom. They're going to be on equal ground at this point. Rocket maybe pulls out a shiv or a knife and just maybe gets Howard a good cut up the face. And then Howard just quack. And so then Rocket just pulls out one of his bigger guns, just shield. Shield maybe cracks a bit under the pressure of the bigger, heavier cans, but the shield heals, so Howard's not recovering. Howard's going for his guns, like, oh no, you don't! Flying grenades again. Howard's avoiding the grenades. Flying grenades. And he goes for the guns, like, disintegrate BFG. All of a sudden, it's like Rocket immediately sees it's like BFG. I get the name right. Rampant Arms phase photonic cannon. They both have a brief stand. Just boom. Disintegration mean going up against that. We don't know what that cannon can actually do. A Rampart cannon can do. We assume it does something pretty beast. But the question is, going by what we can assume it does, based on what we know the BFG does, I gotta give it to. It's all about, because if it disintegrates matter, disintegrates something, it disintegrates matter basically, and energy is nothing more than a different form of matter. Therefore, it still disintegrates it into dust, which changes matter again, but. Disintegration blast versus energy blast. It's going to cancel. The blasts are going to cancel each other out more or less. So now it's just then. So now at that point, there's just this big explosion. Rocket meanwhile it just goes in again for pistol fire because maybe I'm assuming the Rampart probably needs to recharge or something like that. Pistol fire again, just but he's also shooting at the ground this time. Throws a grenade. Big old dust cloud. Now they're hiding in the dust cloud. Now Howard's just like, as you can't hide from me. The vapors off Yatora or Yator. I'm gonna go Yator because I think that's how I wrote it. Just and blows away the wind. All of a sudden he's hearing beeping, beep 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 beep. Sees that rocket-laden trap of grenades all around. He's like, well, crap. He tries to get his shield up, and maybe he even doesn't get the shield up. But I'm just going to conservatively say about 6 grenades around him, probably within a 3-foot radius of his, 3 to 5 foot radius of him, and strong enough to take out a starship, just one of these things. I don't think Howard's shield is going to be able to hold up against that, especially 6 of these bad boys. So then you just see that boom, mushroom cloud of it, and Howard is a roast duck at that point. Now, so why does Rocket? First off, Rocket wins. I'm going with about 70% of the time. I think there's definitely a couple times where Howard pulls out a win. Especially being the fact that he can use magic and has a disintegration gun. I think there's a tough point where he can catch Rocket off guard in the right way, disintegrate him, whatnot. But why does Rocket win the majority of the time, the 70% of the time? Well, one, he's just got more versatility to him. He's got more armaments. He's got just a better tactician than Howard is, from what I know. Again, without knowing how Quack Fu really works, we got to go off it based on what we kind of can gather from it. It's probably effective martial art. Rocket is a on the battlefield trained combatant. I'm sure Howard's had some on the battlefield experience too, but he's been one of the main staple members of the Guardians of the Galaxy. He's fought the likes of Thanos. He's fought beings with similar abilities to Howard anyway, so he's had more experience dealing with that and people who are stronger than Howard at it than Howard has at just dealing with someone who is just who's walking armory more or less, and a skilled walking armory to boot. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that. I think Howard Duck only wins 30% of the time. I think Rocket wins 70% of the time. But it was an interesting matchup actually when I actually looked into it. So I'm actually glad I went over that one. But thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Like, comment, share, and subscribe. As always, if you'd like us to review something, put in the comments below. Let us know. We'll do a review of it at some point. If you have an idea for a Star Wars, who would win, magic, superhero, what if, who would win, anything to do with the channel, put it in the comments below. Let me know. I'll put it on a list and get to it at some point. I like to make you guys feel like you're a part of the channel in some small way. Tomorrow will be Star Wars because I didn't do Star Wars last week. There will be magic tomorrow. There will be no review tomorrow though. I'm taking a sabbatical this week. I just don't have really enough money, and but yeah, I could see a movie, but I'd be pretty on the broke side, honestly. But also, there's no real movie besides The Circle coming out. There's nothing really major coming out, and I had no interest to see how to be a Latin lover at all. So yeah, and The Circle is just not one of those things I need to desperately see. So no movie this week, but next week is obviously Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2. So gonna be fun. Next week will be also the Bleach Who Would Win. Next week's gonna be Squad 9's former captain Kaname Tozen versus Shroud. Now, when picking that, I was picking someone to go up because they're both blind characters, but both with supernatural abilities. If you can think of someone else to pit against Tozen from Bleach, please let me know. Because if I think it's just a more interesting matchup, I will just go with that one instead. But until then, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you folks next time.